You're tuning in to Mad About It. I'm your host, Becky. Becky with the good hair. That's right, it's me. Oh man. Oh my god. It's been like a real long time, hasn't it? It's been like a really long time. Think about 119 days, give or take. But I don't know who's counting. Certainly not me. But yeah, it's been too long, you might argue. A lot has happened in the last 119 days. I have finally successfully changed my name, but still not on the podcast. I still think Becky is the best name for my purposes here. I'm feeling better, but I was in school. I'll be honest. I tried to level myself up during this pandemic because all my work disappeared. So I went ahead and I went back to school for some software stuff. And while I was doing that, I was having a really hard time seeing, and it felt like my head was exploding. I don't know how else to say it. So I was like, the fuck is this, So I was like, I bet this is because I got a scratch on my glasses. So I went to the eye doctor and I was like, you fix my scratch glasses. Like this fucking, these scratch glasses are giving me hell. Absolute hell. And they were like, your problem is not scratched glasses. Yeah. So I ended up I went to the ER during school. I had to, I don't know, they scheduled me for an MRI like during the week, and I was like, but I have school. So I went and I went to the ER on the weekend and just powered through a ton of doctor's appointments at once, because it was like, this is a crazy inconvenience to me. And then as I was trying to take care of my inconvenience, they were like, listen, sir, you have a problem. You have a pseudotumor cerebri. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't have time for this problem. I already haven't made a podcast episode at that point in like 60 some days, which is more than my usual limit. And I was in the middle of doing something. You know what I mean? This is ridiculous. So I go to the ER. They're like, you gotta get a million MRIs. You get the million MRIs. They're like, you got pseudotumor cerebri. And then they're like, why is this happening to you? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And they're like, well, it could be from the testosterone, but it could be from all these other factors. And now they're like, well, you might have CAH. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is CAH? And they're like, CAH is an intersex variation. And I'm like, it's just a fucking real life, you know what I mean? So a lot has happened. I asked them, I was like, well, are we gonna get tested for that? They're like, it doesn't matter whether or not you get tested now or in 3 months. You have to wait 3 more months. I have to wait 3 more months before I get tested for this thing. And there's a ton of different manifestations of this, so, and it is unfortunate that the manifestation that I have seems to be that I'm just sick all the time. I just have tons of sicknesses. So that's just really frustrating to me. They're like, oh, people that have CAH are some versions are more likely to have Cushing syndrome, which I had as a kid. And they're like, oh, the Cushing syndrome might be part of why you have the pseudotumor cerebri shit. And then they're like, oh, but you have a papilledema. And so I had a papilledema. I had a papilledema. And they were like, you're gonna go blind. But fortunately, I am like basically totally healed. And as far as reasons why I haven't done the podcast, like I literally haven't been able to comfortably sit up straight for long periods of time for a couple months, and I had to deal with it during school where I had to be sitting up at a computer for like 14 hours a day. So like it was ridiculous, and also I'm glad that it's over. And do I want to have a 2020 year in review? Do I want to do that? Not really. Like that's what I spent doing. I unfortunately I have not done a tremendous amount of like playlist making. I also I haven't really listened to music. Like my head exploded. So I'm kind of frustrated. And also spinal taps are horrible, and I do not recommend them. But it is a hell of a relief if you're having a serious problem like I did. Like I had the serious problem, they gave me the spinal tap, and then I got better. So like I it was horrible. But like I haven't been able to make podcasts. I could just say, oh, these are the things that blah blah blah, but I feel compelled to talk about it, mostly because they said that they said that I might have CAH. They also said that the testosterone might be like somewhat contributing to the whole scenario. So if there are any trans guys out there, or trans women, apparently this happens to trans women as well. And I asked, they said people on hormone medication. So basically people that are on HRT. And are you guaranteed to have this? No. It's important. The reason I didn't want to just overshare, I'm mostly just trying to say, like, I have a lot of other problems that contribute to this as well. Like, if you're a normal, healthy person and you're on HRT, you're not, like, on a highway to pseudotumor cerebri. You're just, you're probably gonna be fine. But, I'm still on the testosterone, and I'm getting way better, and I have no problems. So, I kind of have my doctors are like, the testosterone is fine. Like, all 3 of them. I now have 3 new doctors. 3 new doctors for this. You know how much I love going to the doctor, but I go anyway because I have to, because I'm trying to fucking see. Also, I have lots of crazy problems. So, again, the doctors are like, HRT is not responsible for this. I don't think that anybody that's on HRT would be, like, in danger of this happening, but I will say that there are people who their only existing thing is hormone medications, and they have this problem. Like, it's got a lot to do with, like, the way that your sinuses and your face are shaped and stuff. It's complicated. Like, just ask my fucking neurosurgeon person. I have a neurologist and a neurosurgeon person. 2 separate doctors for 2 separate things. They have 2 separate stuffs. So, anyway, if you're out there and if you're seeing circles all the time, or if you, like, can't turn your head left or right, go to the fucking ER and be like, I can't turn my head. That's a problem. You got a problem. That's what I did. I said, hello, I am at the ER. I can't see bright lights, and I can't turn my head. And they were like, okay. And they admitted me to the hospital. I mean, this is a serious problem, people. So, I'm sure everybody else is fine. Everybody else seems to be fine. Like, I googled this like twice, and there's some, basically my doctor was like, as long as anybody has any other condition, you can't really isolate that it's caused by taking hormone medications. So if it's compounded with other things, you don't really know what's going on. I will say that my vision problems started when I was on the higher dose of testosterone. That's when they started to get really bad. So I think that from my personal experience, I think I was already at risk for this sort of thing, and then the testosterone pushed it over the edge a bit. So I'm just saying, it's a totally treatable thing. It's a miserable thing to deal with, but it's a totally treatable thing. You know, I can't guarantee you're going to be making any podcast episodes while you're doing it, but you're gonna be fine, and like my eyes totally healed. I no longer have a papilledema. I'm a papilledema free, so I can see totally fine now. It's amazing. I recommend a 10 out of 10. But again, like, you know, I had Cushing syndrome as a kid. That's pretty weird. Not everybody has Cushing syndrome as a kid. That on its own causes this problem. So I think that I was also on a weird type of antibiotic. Just saying. This is a hell of a way to start an episode, right? I'm just trying to tell you what the fuck's been going on. If you can't fucking see, go to the doctor. Mic drop. Moving on. What else has happened in the year? Oh my god. Oh, okay, yeah, so I made myself, I was like, I'm gonna rant all over the place about nonsense, and I'm gonna talk way too much detail about everything, so I need like a leash for this today, you know what I mean? So I made myself like a poem outline-ish thing. Yeah, I met some real-life TERFs. There's no other way to say it. Did they say, hello, I identify as a TERF? No. But do any of them? You know what I mean? Like if they were outspoken feminists who had a problem with me and like virtually no one else in the whole class. It was really unbelievable. And the other one was I can't even. This is the honest to God truth. You're not gonna believe what I say, but it's the honest to God truth. I met someone who I initially thought was like, that's me. You know, I met them. I was like, this is me. Like, well, what a pleasure to meet me. You know, I was dope. I met them and I was like, we are best friends. And I just kind of started talking to them like we were best friends, which I guess is a mistake. I'm not sure if this person knows what friendship is. I think she thinks she can order it on Amazon. But I met a gold-digging, married, classist, preachy liberal, complete farce of a lesbian who sabotaged me actively during school, who was a nightmare. And I've never met a more unbearable person. And, you know, a lot of other people in the class were like, oh my god, that person's way too much, I really hate that person. And I was like defending them at every turn and being like, I love this person, they're awesome. Like, you know, because for a while I thought we were friends. And then we had to do this huge project together. And I have never been accused of so much shit in my life. I've never been accused of being sexist against women in my life. But this person accused me of being sexist against women. She accused me of everything that she could, honestly. She accused me of being racist. She accused me of being she accused me of valuing women by their looks. And I was just like, I honestly, like, I don't even understand. Like, where, at what point did what is going on? How am I a sexist? I was a lady, like, a year ago. Like, like a year and a half ago, I was on testosterone and not passing whatsoever, and living with my old name and just basically not really, like, I tried on a bunch of different names and none of them worked for a long time, so I never changed my cards to the names that I didn't like. It's an incredible amount to do. Once I finally decided the name that I wanted, which happened to be the name that my parents would give me if I had been born a boy. After I decided on that name, I then went through the process of going through the name change. But it took me a long ass time to get my name figured out. And I honestly think that, like, some people are just crazy. But, like, it was very disappointing. It was very disappointing to meet somebody who would talk about, like, eating cum. She literally talked about eating cum. And then got mad at me for referencing a Amy Poehler, Will Arnett sketch about the MRI technician guy. Because I was like, I've said something about him wanting to scan her from the inside out. And she got really, really upset. She got really, really upset. Really, really upset. She's talking about eating cum. Like, is there a big difference between, like, an MRI scan joke and eating cum? Because I feel like, to me, eating cum is worse. Like, that's something that's if somebody just walked up to me and said, "Ooh, I'm gonna scan you from the inside out," I'd be like, that person's a fucking weirdo. But if somebody came up to me and said, "Ooh, I can't wait to eat your cum," I would fucking vomit. I would vomit. They're both offensive. I'm not saying that what I said wasn't offensive. I guess what I'm saying is it seemed to be that there was some sort of quadruple standard being applied to me for no reason that she wasn't applying to the cis guys. And I came out to her as transgender because I came out to a lot of people as transgender because I kind of figured this is the thing about school is it was like a 14-week thing. So, like, I was like, 14 weeks, I'm gonna tell everybody I'm trans because fuck these people. You know what I mean? And that was a mistake, I think. That was a big mistake. I can't believe it. I mean, I can. And I've been watching various trans people do their best to live their life without ever coming out as transgender and wondering why. And now I am trying to reroute my life in a way that makes it so that I can live without ever having to tell anyone that I'm transgender. Because people treat you in a completely different way. They treat you in a completely different way. The people who already know you, in my experience, they're just still treating me like my old self most of the time, which is very annoying. Oddly enough, the only person who's really just like jumped to assistance for this, my dad is being amazing. I've never met this version of him. We are like becoming something. It's pretty amazing. I told him last because I thought he would have the hardest time with it. And he did have a hard time with it. And now I'm starting to wonder if the thing that he had a hard time with is that I told him last. That's kind of how I think. I kind of think that the worst part of it to him was that I didn't feel comfortable to tell him. And I think that I don't know why I would feel comfortable telling him, so I kind of stand by my decision. But in retrospect, I can think, he might have been fine with it. He had a hard time. I think this way he didn't have an opportunity to say anything hurtful, which was kind of nice. I just didn't want to deal with it. I still hear the things my mom said when I came out to her. I still hear those things as a lesbian. The coming out to my mom as a lesbian was horrible. So I just didn't want to have it, you know. I just wanted to just do it, tell him later, and say fucking catch up. And so far, my mom is catching up the slowest, or / not at all, and my dad is like leading the charge. He's amazing. So it's interesting. I guess 2020 has been the year of having to acknowledge that you have no fucking idea what's going on. Oh man, I swear, like, does anybody really feel like they have like complete 100% control over everything that's happening, or have had complete control over everything that's happened in the last like 6 to 9 months? It's been the craziest time ever. The pandemic has been the weirdest time ever, and yeah, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. You know what, the thing that the only thing that really truly cheered me up, besides like getting my sight back, was after all that happened to me, I found out that Elliot Page came out, and that was really fucking exciting. It was really fucking exciting. I'm so excited about Elliot Page. I'm so genuinely excited. There's just so much good that's gonna come out of this. And I hope that his career benefits, and it doesn't. I hope that what happened to Ellen DeGeneres when she came out as a lesbian doesn't happen to Elliot Page. And I think it's already doing fine. I think he's gonna be fine. But it is a bit precarious. You know, whether or not he changes his body is going to it's going to change people's perceptions about transgender people, no matter what he decides to do, which is going to be so wonderful, and so it's just so exciting to me. I can't think of anything more exciting than this, and it's going to be a true thrill for everyone to see such a big celebrity be trans and have their story shown on such a public level. I mean, it's so public what he's gonna go through. Everybody's already giving their 2 cents about everything. People are really being annoying about. They're really being annoying about Elliot Page. I mean, is it usually my style in the podcast to go through and look up shit that pisses me off? Yes. But again, I have not been doing that lately. I've been busy, and I don't give a fuck, because all I want to talk about is how exciting it is. That's all I want to talk about. All I want to talk about is what 2021 is going to bring Elliot Page. It's Elliot Page in 2021 is going to kill it. Everybody's going to kill it in 2021. Mostly because if you compare your 2021 to 2020, I can almost 100% guarantee that you're going to have a better time. Like, no matter what. If you compare your 2021 to, like, a different year, I don't know. But if you compare it to 2020, you're going to have a hell of a time. So, Elliot Page 2021 is going to be unfucking believable. I think so. And, we'll see what else on my leash here. J.K. Rowling is a professional TERF. Why? That's just like so random. Why did I said Elliot Page and then J.K. Rowling right at the? Why are they? I guess these are celebrities that are everybody's talking about. And that's the thing. I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. Isn't it? It's just so weird to be a trans person and to see all this media in general. It's just so weird to see all of it. Because Ricky Gervais and J.K. Rowling and Eddie Izzard and all these people, Elliot Page, all these people, they're talking, and some of them are talking to trans people when they talk, or at least are talking to everyone. And when Ricky Gervais talks, he's not talking to everyone. And it's really annoying and stupid. And I just don't really think that that's, like, interesting. It's not interesting when you can't talk to everybody. That's just poor leadership. And when somebody is in a position of celebrityship, you know what I mean? That you're basically being a social leader, unfortunately. And there's a lot of people who are horrible at that. And I'm starting to wonder if Ricky Gervais is one of them. I was always like a medium fan of Ricky Gervais. I don't understand why people think it's funny to make fun of trans people. It's just like I don't know, it's fun to, like, poke fun at, like, trans cat girls. I think that's kind of fun. It's fun because, like, there's, there is, like, kind of a trans cat girl thing. Like, that is kind of a thing that exists. Like, there are enough, you know what I mean? You know who you are. But other than that, it's not very funny. I mean, and that's like usually trans cat girl humor is, like, positive. I've never seen, like, negative trans cat girl humor. That would be horrible. I wouldn't like that at all. Ricky Gervais would find a way to ruin it. That's what I'm learning. I'm just kind of frustrated at the egocentrism of some of these male comedians. And it's been around for a long time. It used to be just the norm to be a real egocentric male comedian. But it's getting real out of style. It's becoming really more in style to be a woke dude. And Ricky Gervais is not into the woke dude thing, I guess. He's into the sleep dude or the caveman dude. And I just don't give a fuck. And I wasn't really, like, partaking in a lot of Ricky Gervais entertainment before, and I'm not gonna start doing it now. So I really hated An Idiot Abroad. I also thought that it was horrible that he calls his friend an idiot, like, on purpose all the time. I just think that's just so rude. And his friend is really stupid, and he is too, so, like, I'm really frustrated with how much awareness Ricky Gervais lacks. I guess that's, and as somebody who lacks awareness, I get dogged for it all the time. Why is nobody dogging Ricky Gervais about his fucking awareness? That's why I tell you, some of these people, they're getting yelled at for being unaware for, like, the first time ever in their whole fucking lives, and they're like, I'm being discriminated against. It's like, dude, getting called out, getting checked is not the same as being discriminated against. Nobody's discriminating against Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais is saying inflammatory things, and people are offended by the inflammatory nature of his things. That is what it is. Speaking of which, J.K. Rowling is a professional fucking TERF. And before it was annoying, and now it's just like, get a fucking hobby. Get a fucking hobby. She's got this shit way out of control. It's like she's deep into the wormhole. She's just in the canon of doom. I'm over it. I can't. I fucking hate it. And that's the thing. I shouldn't be even talking about this person anymore, but the gold digging demon that I had in my class. And the reason that I call her a gold digger, I should be clear here. I'm not trying to be mean-spirited. I'm straight up calling it as it fucking is. She's a 31-year-old lesbian who's married to a 67-year-old lady. And they literally hang out by buying things. That's all they do. All they do is buy stuff. Every day in class she had 100. I mean, it was like, I think in the time during school she must have had at least 100 packages delivered to her house. It was unfucking believable. It was unfucking. Every day there were packages. And how do I know? Because she had these purebred dogs. She had this purebred dogs that she got with a fucking dog walker. I told her I used to be a dog walker and that I stopped because I moved out of Chicago, basically. But also, being a dog walker is fucking bullshit. People are home. You're like walking somebody's dog who's just sitting in their living room, like unable to stop watching Netflix. This is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And it was really annoying. And this lady, she pays for people to scoop the poop out of her yard. She doesn't scoop her own fucking dog shit. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? I'm the sort of person that's like, how do I self-host and self-publish and even just self-everything? How do I self-everything? That would be, I as a kid, I was like, it would be amazing to be truly like to be able to asexually reproduce. That would be phenomenal. I don't know why I'd want two of me. And I guess one person could be doing the podcast and the other person could be in the hospital. That'd be kind of nice. But anyway, I think that the reason I started talking about this person, I'm so sorry. The reason I'm talking about this person, and this is worth the fucking wait, folks. The reason I'm talking about this person is because the motherfucker 3D printed her own Harry Potter wand for her nephew's birthday. I guess she didn't, you know, she wanted to fucking make it herself, I guess. She bought a fucking 3D printer and then presumably a lot of materials of which to make the plastic. I've heard that the materials for the 3D printers are very expensive as well, so it's just like unbelievable. You know what she did before she married her wife? She taught in like she just taught in public schools. So I've taught in public schools. I know teachers. You tell me how many teachers you know that are just 24/7 buying stuff, 24/7 all the time, selling their $450,000 house. Do you know any teachers that are selling a $450,000 house? Do you? I've never met a teacher that lives in a $450,000 house that wasn't married to somebody who makes a fuck ton more money than them or is fucking 67. Gold digger. That's what that is, folks. Again, I mean, if they're in love, that's fine, but I don't think they're in love. I think they just love buying shit. I think it's a sign if you're fucking still doing Harry Potter shit, if you're a gay person who's still doing Harry Potter shit, you are disrespecting your trans brothers and sisters. That is the facts. I've changed my opinion on this. Again, we are not in 2020 anymore. We are in 2021, and as of 2021, it is officially unacceptable to be pro Harry Potter in any way. You cannot participate. I won't even. I have a fucking Game Boy Advance, it's not Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. I have a fucking Game Boy Color Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone game that I played as a kid obsessively. It's my favorite game. It's better than Pokemon because it's Harry Potter Pokemon. It's just Harry fucking Potter Pokemon. And it's really good. I can't even play it anymore. I can't enjoy it because when I'm playing that fucking game, all I'm seeing, all those fucking crazy batshit old lady fucking TERF nonsense shit. She's got some crazy, crazy shit. I can't fucking deal with the J.K. Rowling shit. She's a professional fucking TERF. She's a professional fucking TERF. The piece that she wrote was full of nonsense facts that are not facts. So, I'm sorry, to be clear, a nonsense fact is not a fact. The piece that she wrote is full of transphobic generalizations that are not true. And the stuff that she writes about women is true. The stuff that she writes about trans people is not true. Most of the stuff that she writes about trans people is not true. And what is a made up fear of trans people? That's what we call transphobia. Like if you have an irrational fear of trans people, so say that you are afraid that trans people are a trend that are influencing the youth in mass, that are damaging young women's bodies permanently. If you believe that, that's irrational because it's not happening. So that's what we call transphobia. That's what that is. Most people started this in 2020. Bravo to you folks. I will say, though, it was a bit hyperreactive. I like to weigh all the sorts of things. I like to see what comes in. I like to see how it ages with time. I like to see if people change their mind. I like to see if people grow. I've given J.K. Rowling a plethora of opportunity to grow. I've even fucking spoken in her defense. And guess what? I can't. I cannot do it anymore. The bitch is a professional fucking TERF. And she's being an asshole. When a man is a bitch, he's a bitch. When this lady is a bitch, she's a bitch. I can't deal with it. J.K. Rowling is crazy. Like the stuff that she says about trans people is just headcanon, TERF, anxiety, tunnel of fear nonsense. You know, like the Willy Wonka tunnel. Like, imagine if, like, instead of a rainbow, it was just like a torpedo of death. That's what the TERFs, that's what they hang out with. That's like the background of any TERF computer is like literally burning witches. They think that they're like they think that people are burning them. You know, I had a hard time with the TERFs in my class. You know who else I had a hard time with? The brochachos. The brochachos were mean to Becky. The brochachos didn't know what the fuck Becky was, and the brochachos liked to question that. And brochachos and Becky, it's a weird mix. I think it's gonna depend on I'm gonna have to be friends with a certain type of guy. It just is what it is. They're not really nice to each other in general. Men are some of the meanest, nastiest women I've ever met. It was pretty interesting to be a dude at school. It was pretty amazing. I enjoyed it, except for the people that were TERFs. Those people sucked. Also, I really think that non-binary phobia is a thing. I really think that people hate non-binary people. I think that non-binary phobia is like a separate problem. Obviously transphobia is the umbrella, but there seems to be a little mini umbrella for non-binary phobia, where I think I just really felt like, oh, you're a man now, you use he him pronouns, you can't be non-binary. That's like generally the vibe I got. That being said, there was a gay guy in my class. He was the smartest guy in the class, smartest guy in the whole class, and he had no problems understanding that I was non-binary and he, him. So I think that was just a TERF problem. I think the TERFs are nuts. I think the TERFs think that the non-binary movement is like coming for them in the night. And I think that's crazy. Literally, the non-binary movement is not coming for anybody at any point. It's just happening. So, did you hear that honk? What the fuck, though, man? Alright, so that's pretty much all the notes I have about J.K. Rowling right now. I can't deal with any of it. Fortunately, I do think that Christine the Queens is starting to become more famous and more mainstream in America. Thank the fucking Lord. I want Christine the Queens to be on SNL. And Muna, I guess, is not really taking off. I've not seen hardly anything from Muna. I also haven't seen hardly anything from Haley Kiyoko or Haley Kiyoko or whatever the fuck. I've not seen anything. Everybody's just disappearing. Haley Kiyoko was on RuPaul, and it was horrible. Did you guys see the Haley Kiyoko on RuPaul? I fucking hated it. I wanted to scream. I did scream. I did. I don't know why I said wanted to, because I did. I did scream quite a bit. I was pretty angry about the Haley Kiyoko. I think RuPaul is a straight up lesbophobe. I don't think he gives a single bit of a fuck about any lesbian person. I think he hates lesbians. And the new trans man on RuPaul is fantastic representation for a certain demographic of trans man. And I'm very happy for the trans men that feel represented by Gottmik. But I don't really like Gottmik, personally. I am watching it mostly. I just don't like RuPaul anymore. I just don't like RuPaul. I think RuPaul is really transphobic, and I think that Gottmik was selected because they were the thinnest, whitest trans boy ever who does like drag makeup. And I just think that Gottmik does what RuPaul thinks is drag, and that's my problem with it. I guess I don't have a problem with Gottmik at all. What I have a problem with is RuPaul's inability to acknowledge anybody else's perspective but RuPaul's. RuPaul just like does not care about anything but RuPaul. So I think that's really weird and kind of boring. And I don't like the worship. I think it's baseless. And I've just I'm watching because I'm just watching for car crashes. I'm watching for the thing in the podcast that I need to mention. That's what I'm watching for. I don't enjoy it at all. So it's a bit upsetting, but I'm watching for how they treat. I'm watching for how they treat him, and I'm watching to make sure that they always call him he, because he uses he/him pronouns. He might identify as non-binary, but he doesn't use they/them pronouns. So I haven't heard whether or not he identifies as non-binary. I've only heard him refer to himself as a guy. So I don't think he is non-binary. But that's what I'm watching for. I'm watching if somebody is assumes that they're non-binary by accident, or if he comes out as non-binary, or if he talks about anything interesting or if anything bigoted happens, I'm gonna be so ready for it. I'm watching. So if you're watching RuPaul this season, just know Becky is also watching RuPaul this season, but Becky is fucking pissed about it. And I'm mostly gonna be playing Overwatch during the episodes and then complaining. So that's mostly what I've been doing. Speaking of which, I found a trans friend on Overwatch. If you are a trans Overwatch player, I currently play on a PlayStation 4. I'm thinking about fucking selling the thing though. I'm thinking about selling it mostly because, like, let's be real, the real gamers who play PC. The real gamers do PC. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. And also, I'm gonna be busy here in the future, and I don't know about the regularity of the episodes. I have no idea what's gonna happen here. I cannot make any promises. What I can promise you is that Mad About It is an institution that is self-sufficient. Speaking of which, have you been to my new website, madaboutit.website? Isn't that fun? Madaboutit.website. Go ahead and go there. My old WordPress is still active. I'm gonna keep it active. It's just free and it looks like shit. And I don't really want to go and make it look pretty because I have other things to do, including madaboutit.website, which is the new domain that I bought. That's not, it's a good domain. It's actually Mad About It, so I'm pretty pumped about that. And that is all set to go. I got a really good deal on it for 3 years, so all I'm gonna say, this is a guaranteed thing for the next 3 years. After that, it will be very easy for me to keep doing this. I'm pretty much gonna keep doing it forever. It's easy to do, and I enjoy it, and I love talking to you people, and I like complaining, but I especially like talking, and I hope to hear from you in some emails. I had the pleasure of responding to a few emails. Just to keep reminding you all, Becky, WTGHMAI @gmail.com. You can email me any sort of weird question that you have. You can talk to me about your girlfriend troubles, your boyfriend troubles, your joyfriend troubles. You can talk to me about your masturbation problems. You can talk to me about coming out. You can talk to me about being closeted. You can talk to me about anything that you want. I will say though, should try to keep it relevant to the sort of shit that we talk about the podcast. Is how to tell whether or not it's relevant to the podcast? I mean, fucking you tell me. You gotta listen to the podcast. But so anyway, stay tuned. I might have long breaks. There might be hiatuses, but it's a set in stone sort of deal, and it's fun. Also, I should have some new playlists here pretty soon. I have been working my ass off on a Tracy Chapman episode. I think Tracy Chapman is more than enough music to cover in a whole episode, so I think I'm just gonna, instead of having like a folk music episode, I'm just gonna do a Tracy Chapman episode, and then I might do like a Dolly Parton episode, and then I might do like an Ani DeFranco episode. But I've been pretty much, if I do listen to music, I've been listening to Tracy Chapman. Why? Because Tracy Chapman literally is so calming and so relaxing for me to listen to that it fucking lowers my intracranial pressure. So I recommend chilling out to some Tracy Chapman between now and the next episode. And I wish you all the best for 2021. It should be a good one. And yeah, check us out on Facebook. Mad About It on Facebook. I think it's like at Becky WTGHMAI. Is that what it is? Hold on. I know the Facebook and the Twitter, it was fucking annoying to set it up because somewhere it was Becky WTGH was taken, of course. Bastards. Where's it? Where's it? At Becky WTGHMAI. That's how you find me. On Twitter and... Well, hold on. That's the Facebook. Becky WTGHMAI is also on Twitter. I line those up. I'm so proud of myself. I never fucking go to Twitter though. I do not recommend reaching out to me on Twitter. You're not gonna get something. I just can't with the Twitter. It's just okay. But yeah. Well, have a good one. Ta-ta. Au revoir.